I'll be able to ask the next one. So, Professor Kindiki, are you aware that for the last 2 years we have internally displaced persons in parts of the North Rift, that is Samburu County, parts of Baringo, Elgeyo Marakwet, and other parts of the North Rift? It's a yes or no?
Yes.
So if this committee finds you suitable to hold this office again, what measures will you put in place to see that these families go back to their homes, and especially going children will go back to school and people can go back to their homes and live peacefully? Mr. Speaker, allow me to ask the last question, which is also, are you aware that there are people in the North Rift who were killed in broad daylight, in marketplaces, in towns, for example, in Samburu West, in Suguta town? There have been abductions, and this current administration, which you served in, during its campaigns and has continuously said that you will not have issues of abductions, issues of extrajudicial killings, but I want to put it across to you that it has been happening. There are people in those counties who are missing to date. They have been abducted. I want to ask you whether you're aware, and we have sufficiently been informed that it is alleged that it is security officers who have abducted these people. Is that one of your measures of ensuring insecurity is settled in these areas? And do you think, as a professor of constitutionalism and ensuring we follow the Constitution, is that the right way in ensuring fair justice even to those who are accused?
Professor?
Mr. Speaker, now that the kinetic operations that we launched in February 2023 has yielded significant fruits, the issue of the North Rift will not be complete until those that were displaced because of the violence meted upon them by bandit groups and gangs are returned to their homes. And therefore, it is going to be my priority, if I am approved by this House, to make sure that in line with the rights of every Kenyan under the Constitution and the relevant instruments, including international instruments on the prevention of internal displacement, we're going to resettle, facilitate the resettlement and reintegration of all communities that were displaced by the menace of banditry. Secondly, I've been asked to respond to the allegations about abduction. During my tenure as minister, I made it clearly, I made it clear to the police that abductions, extrajudicial killings, and extra-constitutional means of apprehending offenders is against government policy, is against the Constitution, is against international law. I must hasten to say my observation, because I've been in the front line more than any other place, especially in North Rift, in northern Kenya, and the Boni Enclave. The officers who served in the special units in counter-terrorism and counter-banditry, the formed-up units, have been quite professional, generally. But just as I've said in the previous question, in the event there are any infractions, there are any reported infractions and excesses by the special forces that are helping us to fight banditry, again, IPOA and other accountability mechanisms must be put in place to ensure that we do not spoil the very good work that is being done by our officers in the front line. Some of them have died, others have lost limb, officers have been destituted.
Chairman, I was saying that the nominees are professors. The professors teach in the university, so you can answer questions like someone who is in class or teaching us. I was requesting through the chairman that Professor